Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rhoda Yakubowski. I'm a recruitment consultant with SAS Docs in Saskatchewan, Canada. And I'd like to thank you all for coming to this presentation. I'll be speaking a little bit about what it's like to live in Saskatchewan, a little bit about SIPPA, our assessment program, a little bit about licensing, and then I'll follow with questions. But first I'll tell you a little bit about who we are. SAS Docs. We are the provincial recruitment agency of Saskatchewan. So what that means is that we coordinate and enhance the recruitment efforts for the entire province of Saskatchewan. We work very closely with the 12 health regions in our province, and we kind of act as a liaison between physician and region, and the regions are the employers. So what we are here to do is provide you with information to come to Saskatchewan, and in doing so we can reduce the competition within our own province for physicians who are wanting to come over. So Saskatchewan, this is where we are. It's kind of like the bat signal. This is us telling you to come on over. This is where we are. So typically people come in through Toronto or they come in through Vancouver. Those are the two port of entries for Canada. We're right in the middle. We're considered Western Province, but we're Western Central. And what we have to offer is a lot of positions for family medicine doctors and specialists. So a few quick facts about our province. Our population has just grown to over 1.1 million, and that was as of April 1st, 2014. Our landmass is huge, but in terms of the population, you'll find it from probably central Saskatchewan to southern, you'll find the most populated areas. We are in a boom right now in Saskatchewan. We are the fastest growing province, both economically and by population. Our growth is we're expanding at such a rapid rate, and that is one of the reasons for our need to come here and recruit, is to be able to stabilize that health environment and bring on new physicians for the province. Some of the things that's creating that boom would be the fact that our province is very rich in resources. So anything from uranium to potash to diamonds to oil and gas, you can find it in Saskatchewan, and so that's driving a lot of people who once left Saskatchewan to come back to Saskatchewan, and folks that are abroad, they're hearing about Saskatchewan that way as well, so they're kind of coming into our province as well. So this is a picture of Saskatoon. That is the largest city in our province, and we are known as the City of Bridges. So like I mentioned before, we are leading the country in economy and population, and specifically where our office is located, Saskatoon, we are the fastest growing city in the country right now. The cost of living is a little bit lower, but because of that boom, we are seeing that rise just a little bit. It's still very, very low in comparison to other places across Canada. Short commute times. I have to say that being here in London has been an eye-opener. So the tube is fabulous. You can get from point A to point B. But still, to get from the airport all the way over to Islington, and you have to transfer and you're jumping on and off, and it's just a little bit over an hour by the time we got here. And I complain at home about a big 15-minute commute from my house to my office. So it's a little bit different in smaller communities. So SIPPA and licensing. One thing that we can that we've been able to provide as a province is a new assessment program for physicians. So there are different ways for physicians to come through. This presentation is going to focus primarily on family medicine doctors or general practitioners. So family medicine in Saskatchewan, and really in a few other provinces, they do have assessment programs. In 2010, our agency was created, and shortly thereafter, the SIPPA, which is the Saskatchewan International Physician Practice Assessment, was created. So once upon a time, there was only one route for family medicine doctors to come through, and that would have been through the CFPC, and those would have only been for candidates who practiced and completed their medical education in Australia, Ireland, United States, or the United Kingdom. So if you are one of those physicians and you have been trained in these areas, both undergrad and postgrad, the licensing pathway that you would likely take is to go through the College of Family Physicians of Canada and go that route for licensure. Now what I'm going to be speaking for in the next probably 10 minutes here is about SIPPA. So if you aren't one of those physicians who did your undergrad training in one of these areas and your postgrad training in one of these areas, then this assessment program would be right up your alley. So like I mentioned before, this is a practice assessment and it's done in Saskatchewan, and we've been very successful with this program. It's administered by the College of Medicine, the Continued Professional Learning Division, and now we call it the SIPPA office. Currently, and these are always subject to change, we have 3 sessions per year. So typically we start in January, 1 session, May, and in September. And in each one of those, we can take up to 30 candidates to take part in this assessment. So the very first step in order to be considered would be to fill out a checklist. Now the forms can be found on our website, and what we do is you can either work with SaskDocs or you can go to one of the 12 health regions and fill out one of these forms. But we are trying to centralize that process, and we would start all with SaskDocs, and filling out this checklist would get you on to the next step. So requirement 1 on this checklist will be to make sure that you have completed your undergrad degree from a FAMR or WHO school. And these are the, if you need to write any of this down, I'm sure that you know if you've graduated from a FAMR or WHO school. Now this is an important one. As part of your internship or postgrad training, you will have had to have completed at least a very minimum of 8 weeks in each of these disciplines. You have to have some training in psychiatry, and oftentimes people will put, no, I don't have any psychiatry. But if you take a look at the program, for example, internal medicine, you may have done some psychiatry training as part of your rotation there, and that would count. You would just have to make sure that when we get to the next step of the College of Physicians and Surgeons that you are able to show that you have that training. So the next step is to figure out if you have, how long your postgrad training was. If it's over 24 months, that's no problem. If it's under 24 months, even 23 months, you will have had to have a minimum of 3 years working experience. So as long as if you've had 18 months postgrad training, but you've been working for 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 years, that's fine. So formally the PCRC was the Physician Credential Registry of Canada. It's now called Physicians Apply. So you would need to open up an account there and have your documents verified. So those would be your MD, your internship certificates, things like that, where they can verify that. They're source verified, and then when you would come through to the provincial licensing body, they would be able to access those documents and find out that in fact those were completed.